Cheers.
That didn't look. Pause.
Hey, Buck.
Wait, no, don't cross the streams. Don't
I
cross
to
the
say that's what she said, but it doesn't work in this case.
No.
Double pause.
Yeah.
Run this back.
I brought the duffel out. Over her, she say that I'm enough. No. Back a house flipping burgers, sweating demons. Hey, that's my sweetie pie, she let me. But that's just how it's set up. OT on the clock, they never let up. So much to deal with. I'm trying for
We are joined today by a very special guest. Henry, thank you so much for being here, bro.
Yo, thank you for having me, bro. I
Appreciate it,
appreciate that.
appreciate
This is
it.
a blessing, honestly. Like, after I saw your first interview, I was like, it was a small dream of mine to get on this interview, and now you're making it happen in real life. So,
Dreams
full
do
circle
come true.
moment.
Hell yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, well, since you are our guest, let's talk about you for a little bit. Let's get to know Henry.
Yes.
So what's up
Shit.
with you, bro?
Damn. Fucking artist, creative director, entrepreneur. Those three things have always been part of my life. Even when I wasn't or didn't know that I was into art. And yeah, man, just from OR, born in Houston, shit, adopted at 2 weeks old, but grew up in
What?
Oregon, like, just, you know, like, so periodically moving and stuff like that. What else? Graduated from high school in Vermont.
Damn, you're all over.
Yeah.
And was in high school in Europe for a bit, and then decided to go all out when I got back. Shit, traveled to like Australia, New Zealand, fucking.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
it's been
fire.
a wild journey, bro. It's been dope. Like, I wouldn't want it any other way, and I get to meet cool people like you guys. So I feel like my lifestyle has always complemented the art world. So I'm just in the mix now.
That's
Yeah.
so cool, bro.
That's fire.
Wow.
Sure.
Globetrotting.
So which area did you like the most?
I would say, like, right now, I like this better than spots in Europe just because
Okay.
you guys are a vibe. And I realized traveling that it doesn't even matter where you are. As long as you're with dope people, like, you're going to make it a dope universe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
you can
damn.
build out the you could be in a parking lot skating with your friends,
Yeah.
smoking cigs, messing around. And some of those days in high school I remember more than like being at TSA, traveling to this and that, because it's like, yeah, it was just a vibe. We just made it a vibe. So,
Okay.
All right.
That's
Yeah, man.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
so traveling's cool, but get to it when it makes sense. Like, it made sense for me because it was school things.
Okay.
But don't even worry. Like, the world's so connected, and nowadays you have the internet and AI, so it's basically like you traveling already. Well, you in rooms everywhere already. So yeah.
See, that's a mind trip with AI and with also all these like technologies with the internet. It does feel like you could travel the world from your living room at any moment.
200%.
But when you were traveling, I mean, did it feel like you were like what was it like being in different cultures? Because you were younger then too, right? Traveling.
Bro, I had no fucking clue what was going on. I was just like there. I could hardly speak. So I was like, you know the feeling when you're like 4 and you go outside and you just start like, oh, what's this? What's this? It's like your
Yeah.
first time seeing like a truck or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like you start to have that type of curiosity
Yeah.
again, because every time someone's talking, the way cars move on the other side of the road, the way you can't read the food labels, it's all like your brain's constantly like stimulate, like what's this, what's
yeah.
this.
Right.
Because you're trying to figure things out. Like, what the
Right.
hell is this?
For sure. And naturally so your body's gonna adapt, and so it just shows you how fast you can adapt. Like, if I stayed
Yeah.
there for long enough, I'd be fluent in Spanish just
Yeah.
by hanging out. So it's
yeah.
like, and you guys would too. Like, if you go there and you chill for a few months, you'll be able to speak pretty well, because like your body just you need to do that to get a hotel, to get food. So
Right.
your
Oh,
body
yeah,
just
yeah,
figures
that's
it
true.
out.
You
It's
pick
crazy.
up, like,
we
the
got
common
to do
terms.
this to survive.
Oh
Yeah.
God, like
yeah.
Man, that's cool though. Like, what an adventure! And now your adventures brought you to Los Angeles.
yes, sir.
Yeah. And like,
Big LA.
what initiated like the call? What was the call that brought you here and has made you stay here thus far?
So basically, I was like damn near always making art and just messing around though. And then I had little glimpses of like what the art world is, people like you guys. I got to perform with some of my friends who were making music more heavily back then, and I just got a mini taste of it in Oregon, and that was like, oh, this is my thing. Like, I wanted to go after school. I just wanted to skate or make music, and like, without even thinking about it, I would just find myself in front of booths and stuff. So I was like, oh man, like, how can I make this part of my lifestyle? So I just doing that, and yeah.
Just riding the wave. There's a lot of waves to catch in Los Angeles.
For sure.
That's definite. And it's funny you brought up like booths and skating around, because that's how we met. Is you were skating around,
For sure.
and I was working in Hollywood on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
Which was funny. It was a really cool way to meet somebody.
Yeah, that's always been a part of my lifestyle. Skating kept me out of trouble. I was going to the skate park more often than hang out with the kids, causing trouble. And once I was like doing that, I'm like, okay, this is probably the move. So I just stayed there. And then a lot of my friends were from skating. When I was more shy, I would just talk to people about skating and stuff. And then that helped me like kickflip. Like, you don't have to speak any English, but you know the kickflip, so we can talk about that.
You also can talk about when that board hits you in the shin.
Yeah.
And you all
See, I know that move. I know that move way better.
Everyone knows that
Skate language.
For real. Yeah, because I used to skate when I started when I was like 12. And I skated for a long time, but I stopped skateboarding because I got into martial arts.
Oh, that's going to take way more priority.
Yeah.
But skateboarding is like a martial art.
It is, but it was the reason why I chose martial arts more is because when you're trying to do cool shit on skateboarding, you fuck yourself up so bad. Like, I was like messing my knees up, my ankles, and I couldn't go to training because I was so fucked up from skateboarding, you know?
Yeah, skate militia.
Like, because, you know, you're trying to skate rails. I'm jumping off stairs. We're climbing up roofs to do roof gaps like fucking retards. You know what I mean? Like,
Whoa.
you're like, I look back at
Shit's
now,
fun as
like,
hell.
bro, I'm so glad I survived. Like,
I
what
would
the
like
fuck?
climb rooftops. I wouldn't skate rooftops though.
No, we'd be like, dude, we could do that. Yeah, let's go. Like, that's literally how you be thinking. You know what I mean? Or you'd be like, look at a stair set. Like,
Skating's very like attack. If you see it, if you see yourself do the trick in your head, you feel like you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the magic, right?
Until the
and
board
then you-
tells you otherwise.
But you need that delusion. You need that delusion to eventually get to pulling that trick off.
Oh, man.
You gotta
right.
believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's that come from? God only knows.
It comes from watching other people do cool shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to do cool shit too.
Right. It's like
you know what I mean?
it's like a sense of inspiration.
Yeah.
I think it stems from that.
That's
So,
funny.
you said skating kind of like it drawed you in. Do you remember when you first started skating or like your first board?
My first board was a super shitty airwalk that my mom got for my birthday when I was like 8. And I was too afraid to stand on it, so I would sit on the board and just ride around the skate park and push. And then I was just the kid who was dropping in and like sitting on the board.
What?
And then eventually I learned how to stand up, and I didn't like taking the bus home, so I would just skate home. And then next thing you know, I was olling up. First I would fall off a curb, and then I learned how to ollie up a curb. And then once I learned how to ollie up a curb and ollie off something, so I didn't have to stop, I could just continue.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
it.
Oh,
That was like
hooked.
Yeah, I was
Like,
hooked after that.
You're like the Silver Surfer from that point on.
I feel like
so
Cody
sick.
Maverick.
That is so sick.
That was Chicken Joe.
That is true. Like, if you want to be able to cruise and flow and make it feel good, if you can be solid at ollieing off and on things, like just
Huge.
the curves, man, you can just ride forever.
For
And
real.
You can just keep going.
It's hard when you can't ollie up a curb because every time you hit a curb, you got to stop, grab the board.
Exactly.
But the second that flow, you can hit the block in one flow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's when you get like that adrenaline rush,
yeah.
and then
And then
that sparks the dopamine that makes you want to try it again, and
Yeah.
just continues.
and then you hit this smallest pebble in the whole world, and all you hear is,
Oh.
and you just. I got so many scars.
This story's so true.
Scars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
Oh my
exactly.
goodness.
That's just from fucking the tiniest little pebble too. Like they're fucking. You're like, what made me do that? And it's like this fucking little thing on the ground. You're like, what the fuck?
Nah,
That's all it
for
takes.
real.
It's like a thorn in a lion's paw.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. It's no joke. That's why it'd be scary. Like even when I watch it on YouTube, people doing hill bombs. I'm like, bro, you
Dude,
guys are crazy.
Yeah, no,
Like
literally.
you are crazy.
You're just rolling the dice.
Yeah,
You're
and
just-
then there's cars
them
like
outta
in
here.
the intersection shit.
You
and
just
I'm
woke
like,
up and
you're
said,
fucking...
I'm not gonna get hit.
Yeah.
No,
You
For
just have
real.
to feel that,
For
I
real.
guess.
I don't
Whoa.
even know. I feel like they're just going like, they're like, oh, I'm scared, but then they just get on the board anyways,
Yeah.
and like by the time they think about it, they're already at the bottom
Yeah.
of the hill.
Yeah.
Or
You know.
or sliding on the ass.
Yeah. Either way, they're blacking out.
At the bottom of the hill, sliding on their back.
And all their buddies are gonna tell them, "You crushed it. That was sick."
Yeah, for real. We got it on video, dude.
Yeah, the filmer's like, ooh.
yeah. For real. That's just no joke. So then, where you said you had a taste of it in Oregon, like the music stuff. Like what group or what were you doing at that time that got you into that world?
Right. So I was listening to like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and like just the normal like radio hits that my mom would play and stuff. And then Tyler the Creator came to band with Earl and Odd Future. That's when they were on that little run right after he ate the cockroach or whatever. So what, 2012? And
Damn.
dude, after that, seeing that show, people jumping into the stage, people front flipping, mosh pits starting.
Whoa.
I guess Odd Future crew is like mostly hip hop kids and creative kids, but also there's a little bit of punk culture in that. So you get skaters and stuff. My
Yeah,
friends
yeah.
who skated went there that night.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, I had that same feeling that everyone felt when that whole era was happening with like Pro Era, Odd Future. I guess ASAP was starting,
Yeah.
and I was just like, this is so cool. This is nothing my mom plays at home. If I was playing this, I get in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
I get to be with the kids who skate, who I think are cool, and they're playing this. So, you know, that just got me into culture. That's like, oh, what are they wearing? Supreme. And it just had me so curious that I was just researching stuff when I got back home. And I guess that spark turned into me meeting up with Spit the Kid, this artist I was working with. Training grounds for real. Like, that's how I learned how to put a verse together in, like, the back of his house. His mom would be in the kitchen, like, shitty mic, sock over the mic in a closet, bored on summer days, just making stuff.
That's how it happens.
And then what happened was he started getting some shows. I got to open up for Currency back in 2017.
Dude, that's fire.
And that's all I needed. Like, after
Yeah.
that, I was just like, nah, this is sick. Like, how can I wake up? It doesn't matter if I end up being a firefighter, doctor, whatever. How can I somehow still make music in my schedule?
Yeah.
And since then, I've been trying to build out that type of universe.
That's
And-
so sick, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's amazing that skating, the flow of skating, brought you to music.
Yeah, for sure.
It's such a trip because they're very similar to me. I mean, it's like I see the way in these things. Like, they're both art forms, and with music, like you said, you went through training grounds, just
For
like with
sure.
skating. You know,
Yeah.
that's sick.
No, I like the way you explain that. I mean, you're a filmer, so you probably have an eye for things I would never even think about. As far as, like, you see art in so many things that maybe someone, if they talk to you on a conversation, they wouldn't see it as art. They would just see it as their practice. So like a farmer could be an artist.
Oh, 100%, bro. 100.
Depending on how he arranges the seeds or whatever.
There's like care that you can take with the arrangements of everything, right?
For sure.
And I feel like art and artists, they bring that to the full front just with everything they're doing, right?
Yeah.
But a good business is artfully done.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Truly. That's why there's so many cool ads.
That sounded like an accident.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why I park on that street in the behind.
Damn, I need to move the car. I'm parking in the front right
I
here.
noticed. I was like,
man.
damn.
Because it was
okay.
open. I was like, oh, perfect.
It's all right.
Dude.
We're gonna be okay.
Sorry for that interruption.
No, it's good. It's the flow.
For sure. So yeah, man, that was it. That was like the start. Like, if it wasn't for skateboarding and wanting to stay out of trouble, I wouldn't have gone to the skate park to meet the punk kids playing Blink-182 and stuff like that, who would bring me back to their house where we play guitar, and then
that's
like,
fire.
and that just showed me, oh, what's this? This is Kurt Cobain. Oh, it's stuff that my parents weren't playing. And then I get home hearing Michael Jackson or something, and then I'd start to piece it together. Oh, he listened to Michael. Like, so that was really, I think there's doors for everything, and my door happened to be skateboarding.
That's so cool, bro. That is so cool.
Yeah, that is dope.
Sure.
Have you heard of this skater Ray Barbie?
Ray Barbie.
He's an OG skateboarder.
African American dude. Hella swag. He does like pivot.
He does the old school shit.
slashes,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's got that steez.
Yeah, so I brought him up because I found him not through skateboarding but through photography, because he does like a lot of photography too. That's what he's known for too.
Interesting.
And then he does music also, so he plays the guitar in his own band and everything, and does singing and shit. So it reminded me of like what your story was. Is like he got into skateboarding. Eventually, you wanted to take pictures of your friends, so he became a photographer.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like it's like that
Some shit like
progression.
that.
Yeah.
He rode the
And we
flow.
met. I mean, you found out about Ray Barbie through that, and I found out from the other world. So it's always like,
Yeah.
keep trying, like, everything.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, Henry, what kind of new projects are you working on right now?
So I got an apparel drop coming out. I actually dropped a sneak preview on my Instagram. I can show the audience and you guys.
Yeah, show us, and I'll pull it up on the screen.
So here's the actual demo garment.
Demo garment. Just
It's
pulling
called
out.
Determined Without Being Ruthless. I have a brand called Woke Up Dead Inc. As you can see,
Woke Up Dead.
and it's art for artists. And our whole thing is omni mors as quae. And it means when you die, we're all the same. So why not create?
Determined without being ruthless.
Yeah.
Woke Up
That's
Dead.
fire.
So it's
That's
for all
hot.
the skaters,
Top
all
merch.
the artists, to bring how, like, that lifestyle I was living back in high school, just how can I implement that into someone so that maybe they could, like, see that and they'll have the same experience I had with music, or, like, just stuff like that.
That's
So,
sick.
yeah.
That's sick, bro. I like that T-shirt a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I've already. What was the saying? It was like relentless. No, determined without being ruthless.
Now, I like that line because it's contradictive, because it doesn't make any sense. And I like that I was challenging something that if you're determined, you're probably ruthless, but how can you be determined without being ruthless? So I wanted to question a normal core aspect of something that I've never tried before,
Yeah.
and put on a shirt.
I like that.
I love that.
That's fire, because it's like when people, they put this in movies a lot, is like, oh, it's just business, and they'll be doing some fucked up shit, and it only benefits one person. They'll just be like, it's just business, no hard feelings. Like, fuck you, bitch, you just fucked me.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
no,
Like,
that's some real
like,
shit.
Like why? If good business is good business. Like, no matter what you can't just say, whatever. It's just
Right.
business. If you're doing good business, then both parties or whoever you're dealing with can still benefit without you needing to.
Yeah,
like-
even emotionally, like,
Yeah.
they can learn something from you and feel like they were heard in that transaction or
Yeah.
whatnot,
Mhm.
and then you could do business with them more in the future.
Exactly, because if we're taught like the whole being determined but still be ruthless, then you're gonna end up by yourself and create enemies along the way while you're doing these things.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
You can't be just ruthless. Yeah, but I think
Right.
there is like a line, right? There is a line. Being determined and being mindful of how your determination is presenting is cool.
Right. Okay, that's better. That's better way of looking at it. It's the way you present your determination for your craft. Maybe that's even what I can add to the campaign. See, you guys are helping me figure that out as I'm exploring that topic.
Great.
So that's cool.
Hey, bro, take it.
For
Yeah.
sure. Hey, I'll cut you guys 15%.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, that's what this show is really catered to, is that like we just get to talk about art, how it inspires us.
Yeah.
And even on the last podcast, we were inspired by our guests with some ideas, and we were just like, oh yeah, that's fire. And so
And we actually did a test today, or yesterday for it, or day before. We did a test.
Yeah.
We're still editing it, but it's exciting the way that art inspires other artists, and like the way that we can really collaborate with each other. And I think that's what, that's what we got to do here on Earth, is collaborate.
No, for sure. I think that's the main goal. When I'm not working on my job or myself, I'm trying to work with other people so I can learn. Because there's something that you're really good at that I might never be as good as you. Like, that's just your talent.
Same. Like,
And I
it's
just want to be able to see how you think about things. So maybe I could get even a sliver closer if I'm ever in a situation where it's like, oh, that's Yale's skill. What Yale told me, how can I use this? Da-da-da. So that's cool, man.
Thank you. And yeah, and the same for you, bro. Like, you have a lot of skills that I don't have, that I want to grow and work on. And so that's the fun thing about living out here, is there are so many people, so many artists, and we're all working on our different crafts. And when we meet, when we come together, we can make things a lot larger than ourselves individually.
For sure. And it just feels good to be as useful as I can. So if I know how to skate and someone wants to know how to skate, then the process of teaching them might take a while, but after I see someone get excited about landing something, that feeling always made me stoked. So I'm trying to do that more often and stuff like that. Or
you know what's interesting when you say, like, when you see your homie do a trick, like in skateboarding, that's probably like just as exciting as us landing our own trick. Because you're like you're with the crew, and you just seeing them, like maybe they was busting their ass like 10 tries and they finally get it, and you're like, yeah, dude, because we know how that feels. It's so interesting because in surfing, it's not like that.
Wait, how so?
Because in surfing, especially in shortboarding, the waves are scarce, like in people's minds, right?
Oh,
because
once the day ends, the waves either get super high or super low.
or whatever, because it's always changing. It could be within the same day. Like in the morning it's fire, in the lunchtime it sucks, and then in the evening it's fire again. It could be something like that. So every time you're in the water and it's shortboarding, you don't catch as many waves. So every wave you're like, I need this one. This is my drug. Like, I need to get this. And then so like when people drop in on each other or whatever, like it gets like people cussing at each other, yelling and shit. Dude, it's crazy.
That's so not surf.
Yeah, exactly.
I had no idea that people were like yelling at each other.
Yeah.
So that reminds me of my time at the library, actually.
What
Why?
happened?
Were you being
Bro.
loud?
I was being so quiet, so good. I was typing.
being a good boy.
My computer's loud, and I was clattering on it. Maybe that was pissing people off. But bro, a fight almost broke out between two people at a library in Santa Monica.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was nuts, dude. It was nuts.
You got to start hanging
Right
out in those
outside
libraries,
of
man.
your
No,
local
I'm just kidding.
libraries.
But it's just weird. Like, I mean, I can't believe it. Do you think that energy, that aggression that you're finding on the waves, is that a new thing?
No, it's mainly in shortboarding.
It's just the shortboarders?
Yeah.
Maybe they're overcompensating.
Well, it's because like it's harder to catch waves on shortboards.
Okay.
And
Right.
then let's say each set takes 15 minutes and each set only has 3 waves and there's 10 fucking people out there. That means only 3 waves are going to get ridden.
So how many people have you,
And-
have you told
Right, you
off?
guys
Every
split
15
it up.
minutes, you know what I mean? And
Right.
if you suck and you don't know where to be and how to catch the wave, you're never even going to catch it.
Right, you're
Oh
just
my
sitting on
gosh.
the
Yeah,
board.
you're literally just gonna watch people surf, and that's what happens a lot of times. And skateboarding is different because, Like the ground is always there. You can always land a shove it or a kickflip or whatever at any time.
Yeah.
You know, or the ledge, you can take turns on the ledge. It's always there.
Right.
And so it's like a different mentality. And it was so weird when I started surfing that when I found out, like, why are people always just fucking retarded to me? Because I'm in the water like, yeah, dude, get it. Because from skateboarding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, dude, that was a fucking sick turn. They'd be like, oh, thanks, man. And they'd be so weirded out because it's not normal.
Oh,
Wow.
that's crazy that
Yeah.
surfing's more territorial.
Yeah.
Super.
Hmm.
And the better the break, and depending on where you're at, it's called localism. So if you're not a local, like you don't go there often and people don't know you, like they'll more than likely just cut you off and you'll be against like the main group of people that go there and they'll like not let you surf there.
It's
That's
crazy,
crazy.
dude.
Right? Yeah.
I just pictured everybody had like long hair and they liked fish tacos and they were all really nice to each other and drove vans.
Yeah, maybe in the parking lot.
Okay. That's
Sure.
how
In
far
the
I've
water.
gotten.
Ruthless. Ruthless, bro.
Sharks.
Ruthless.
Sharks when they get in the
Yeah,
ocean.
those sharks are nicer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
I like that.
So this clothing brand that you started, what was the inspiration for it?
So we were really bored during COVID. I was going back to Oregon from school. Man, I didn't have nothing to do because I was making music, but I'm like, okay, when I'm not making music and skating, I need to do something else besides just chill at the house. So what I did was I met with my graphic designer from high school, Kobe. Shout out Sloth, Face Killer. You can follow him on IG, all other platforms. But he started we were bored, smoking weed in a room, talking. We're like, bro, we should make a brand. Or we should make a T-shirt that we can bring to the skate park that we hang out at and just give it to the homies.
Yeah.
And we wanted to call it Cotton Flames, the first name. And that was going to represent, like, minorities in creative aspects, specifically apparel. And it's going to be COTTON Flames. And then we were like, no, we need something that, like, the second you hear it, it's like you either hate it or you love it. Like, it's like very like visceral.
polarizing.
It is, yeah.
And so we used Woke Up Dead just to get people's attention, and to represent that, like, yeah, like, be creative while you're in this life. You're doing whatever you're doing, and then that can be the liaison between me and someone who plays ukulele or like things I can't do or don't do. I wouldn't say can't, but don't do.
Don't do it just yet.
And at that level. So, yeah, just stuff like that.
Sick.
And then I wanted my lifestyle, you know, I'm like a growing man. Like, a lot of things are for myself right now, but I want to make something that is just for other people. And Woke Up Dead's that one thing that I can say is more for other people than me. Like, I'm not even on our Instagram and stuff like that. So
that's cool, man. I tell you what, that polarization is very real because when I first heard that was the name of your brand, I wasn't sure how I felt about it.
For sure, no.
Because I don't know, you know.
Like, if it's bad,
but knowing
it's
you,
taking negatives to positives.
Exactly. Like, knowing you, it's like that makes me like the brand more because, like, what's behind it. I understand. There's a lot going on behind it.
For sure.
Yeah. And like with that T-shirt, it shows. You know, the brand is more than meets the eye.
For
I think
sure.
that adds a lot of layers to it.
Yeah, and we also have another brand called Art Student, which is way more like brighter, makes more sense. But that one, I couldn't like have a feel. I wanted a feeling. Like, I could call the brand like Oreos or something, and it's like an Oreo skating. Like, I want to have something that like you remember after you leave. So we were just dumb kids, stoned, just trying to make something to like joke around. And then what happened was people started buying our stuff at the skate park, and so we just kept flipping.
Oh, that's sick.
And our first drop, we did 1.6K in 2 days.
Nice,
And we just have been
That's
going
what's
from
up.
there.
That's awesome.
And now
That's
we're
inspiring.
Yeah.
Because we're working on some shit, and that's really inspiring.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah,
It's just the key was pre-sales. The key was going to the skate park, having all our friends wear it. Those kids would be at school the quote unquote cool kids at school would be like, that's dope. And then they would ask where they got it. And we did that for 2 months without even putting up anything. We just kept saying, coming soon, coming soon. And then eventually, once we had like 20 people on Instagram DMing us, like, can I get a tee? Can I get a tee? Then we put it out.
Brilliant.
Okay.
And then some of those people bought 5s, and we sold, it was 45, and each of the tees were 45. And we promoted for a whole summer. So it sold out in 2 days. And then
Wow.
now
That's
our
how
drops
cool.
sell out
Nice.
from 1 to 8 weeks. And we're in 8 skate shops here, 1 in Oregon, and
Wow, bro.
just going crazy.
That's amazing.
That's solid, dude.
Yeah. Legit.
Fuck yeah.
But I'm not great at designs. I'm not that great at stuff. We're literally bored. Like, we had nothing to do. So we were just like, let's just make tees. And now we're here. I never thought it would take me to this. And, like, now maybe one day that can be, like, one of my main sources of passive income. So,
Yeah, bro. Design
Yeah.
is huge. That's like the artists. A lot of
For
artists
sure.
are into design. You know, like Steve Jobs started with design. Kanye West, he was always talking about getting into design. He
For
did it.
Yeah.
Like you're doing. You're doing all these things, bro. You're doing it.
I just
Sick.
feel like I'm either with someone who's smart enough to know better, but I'm dumb enough to just try.
And that's really what it'd be taking.
Yeah.
Because
Now, overthinking can paralyze you.
Yeah.
And keep you from doing what ought get done. Sometimes you just have to catch the wave. It doesn't matter who's telling you not to.
yeah.
You're not a local. Get that wave.
Yeah, I sometimes like. Oh my B.
You're good.
When I'm playing a video game, one thing I've been trying now is I won't ask for directions. I'll try the video game and I'll just fail the first time, because sometimes I've noticed you do stuff that maybe no one has ever even thought of because it's your first time approaching it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
no one can think like you. So what if you try something that's never been done in that space just because of your lack of knowledge
Yeah.
and just being yourself, and in that space you try something that only like Yale would try, or all that.
That's the magic of it, right? You just have to
Yeah.
kind of go for it. And bro, like I see you as like, I've been in LA my whole life, and every time we interact, you're going for it. You have new stuff, You're in that flow, bro. I admire it. I have a lot of respect for it.
Thank you. It's like I feel like everyone has an innate thing, like that's just like, it's really your gift, like whether
Yeah.
it's talking, skating, writing, and once you hit that flow state and you're just having fun and like you're just impressing yourself every day, like you'll eventually make something that you're like really proud of. And like I feel like I'm getting close to there. Just something that like if I play for my parents, they're gonna be like, nah, this is hard, like this is dope. So I'm trying to get to that point. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
man.
I love what you said about like how you're making things that impress you, right? I mean,
For
that's huge,
sure.
because in this life, it's you versus you. At the end of the day, it's
True.
you who you're dealing with the most, and it's you whose life you have to take responsibility for.
For
So
sure.
why not make it better every day? Why not push yourself every day?
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, like I don't know, I treat every day like square one. Like man, like yesterday was sick. Like today's gonna be an adventure. I'm gonna make today an adventure too. Like,
Yeah.
and if it's not a good day, then it's like, shit, today was a bad day. Well, let's hit the drawing board tomorrow. Like,
That's
and-
definitely a good attitude
Yeah.
to have as an artist.
for sure, I
Yeah,
appreciate
you know what I
it.
mean? Because it sometimes I be getting in my head with things, and I have to go back to the drawing board of what even drew me to art and to begin with, and let's get
For
back to
sure.
that, because it's like I need a reset, because life kind of like when it starts lifing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the
Right.
challenges come, you're like, fuck. And you
Right.
start, I'd be doubting my artistic skills sometimes, because
Same.
I'm like, oh man, I'm not making shit pop off or whatever.
Same.
And then it's like, nah, just do the art, bro. You fucking love that shit anyways. You know what I mean? Like,
It's what people say when they say trust the process, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta let it be bad, As long as it needs to be bad.
For
Just don't share the bad ones.
Yeah.
If you do, just share it privately. Just text it.
Or
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes I even like sharing. I just like documenting it, so that
Right.
cause sometimes I'll even go on like people's YouTube that's got, I don't know, 300,000 subscribers or some shit, and I'll just go oldest
Lit.
video that they are willing to
Yeah.
keep on here, and
Right.
then
Willing
just
to keep
see-
on. That's
yeah,
important
yeah,
asterisk.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And it'd be like 8
That's
years
game.
ago they posted this, and I was like, yeah, see, it looks like shit too. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and now they're here.
Everyone
Yeah.
starts somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
gotta
it's-
catch your wave.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I think life is like, it's, you see things that only you can see, right? And like everybody around you might be telling you, why are you doing that? That's not what you're supposed to be doing, bro. Get a job. This, that, and the other. Sometimes though, you feel it inside yourself that you're the most right, and you need to do this for your life. That's how you really
Yeah.
know you're in it. That's how you really know you're flowing.
For sure.
No, for sure. It's like, damn, like I can't see myself not making art
Yeah.
in life. So how can I reframe or make some? There's a schedule out there that exists for me
Yeah.
that is gonna allow me to make art.
Yeah.
Even if no one ever hears my art, it's part of like people work out, I work out, people meditate. That's like my form of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how can I incorporate that in any way?
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know what's interesting about your brand? Woke Up Dead?
Woke Up Dead
Woke Up Dead.
_INC.
Yeah. So Woke Up Dead, Tupac has this saying on one of his. I went to like a Tupac museum thing.
Sick.
They had, it was like a mobile one where they set up in different studios or whatever.
Cool.
And one of their main tagline for the billboard was "Wake me up when I'm dead."
Oh, that's hard.
That's one of the taglines from his like one of his
Crazy.
notebooks, and it reminded. I was like, "Holy shit, that's crazy!" Like,
Yo,
that's
I
so
appreciate that,
yeah.
man. Shit, legend, bro. If I could even make something remotely close to his work, that would be cool. But yeah,
I love that Tupac's work is like journals.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what I love
Yeah.
about. Like when I went there, I was like, "Holy shit!" He's like, the amount of writing and poetry he's written, and just like writing in general. I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck." I got that much writing too. Like that's crazy. When I saw it, it was inspiring because I was like, I guess all this stuff that I've written isn't useless. You know what I mean?
Nah, for
Like-
real. Man, like, bro,
You're still in the
you.
process.
Like you just said, with like you play one of my beats and you just loved it, and like there's something that you could put out that like you're like, whatever, I'll check it in a week, and
Yeah.
I'm here the whole week just like, this is so hard.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite music, it's someone who has like 16 followers
Oh,
and like
yeah.
1,000. Like it's always
Yeah.
like that. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, but the fact they put it out, not even knowing me, and then it just relates, and it just, I feel it. Like I can listen to it while I'm skating. I can listen to it when I'm about to go on a date. Like it just, it's like, I want it to be a part of my life. So it's like you never know what type of thing you're gonna say in the way you're gonna say it, and the whole like throwing paint at the wall or like throwing a dart into the abyss. It's like that's what you might hit a target that
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
even seeing.
Yeah.
That's gonna really like helps. Like if you're an artist, one of your jobs is to serve people, to help people with your art. And if you're just talented but you never put it out, then you're doing a disservice to the person who could need that song that day or that moment to help them get motivated or whatever.
Doing a disservice to the art itself.
Yeah.
Because and I would say disservice to whoever your belief is in, but to God,
Mhm.
because God has gifted you with these wisdom, with these talents,
Mm-hmm.
not for yourself, but to be in service.
Yeah.
Like we're-
of people.
yeah, of people, of the source that you was given.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the reason like the bee has to go to the flower to get the seed somewhere else. Even though flower is so great and magnificent, they can't transport their seeds like that without help from the bee. So
Yeah.
be that bee for someone else.
Yeah, pollinate them hoes.
And that
Oh my.
be calm. And sip wine.
There you go. That's true advice.
Nah, but like, exactly. You know, just
the bee makes so then you get that honey.
for sure.
Sipping wine and being calm is like, those are true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Sure.
That'll get you honey.
And I need all those worlds. Like, I can't cover every base.
Yeah.
If my car's broken, I can't be the mechanic. I need to go to the mechanic. If my teeth are fucked up, I'm going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna ask the doctor about the fact that my car's broken driving to the thing, because they know about teeth more than the car, even if they
Yeah.
might say the right thing. So it's like, I'm always, if I need art, I'm gonna go to you. If I need audio engineering, I'm gonna go to you. You know, like,
Yeah.
so, you know, just keep doing that. Keep putting yourself out there, and sometimes it's good to turn off your brain. Like, if it feels good, because a lot of artists be so smart and just great at the analyzing and the critical aspects of, like, you basically are like Jedis. I look at artists like Jedis. Like, you're bringing the force of, like, that feeling that we feel inside, but you can't explain it, but you're bringing it into the real world like a wizard. And so it's like, please keep doing that, because you guys are the reason that I am inspired. You guys are the reasons I made teas. Like, you guys are the reason that when I didn't want to put out a track, I was like, well, this artist made me super happy when they put out this track, so I'm going to just do it. Yeah.
You're the reason we're doing this podcast.
It's
To propagate art and to, like, spread this message, because that's just so true. And, like, these are the words that need to be spoken in our culture now more than ever. You know?
Man.
Preaching genuine connection and love through art.
No,
You know,
200%.
Art is so necessary to inspire people, to inspire society to come together, to work as a unit. And yeah, bro, I love what you delivered here today.
Dude,
Thank you.
I love how you guys think about things. Like, it's, bro, like, this could be a song later. So it's like, that's dope, man. And, you know, like, man, like, it's so simple when it's like, what piece of art can I make today? Not like, where's my art? I don't know where my art's gonna be in 10 years. Like, I don't know what I'm doing a week from now. But what I can do today is I can make a beat tonight. So I'm gonna just focus on just that.
And that concept is controlling what you can and letting go what you can't.
Yeah. The
Right?
micro. Like,
Yeah.
even if you look up how to make a song or how to do this, that's one step closer to making a song. So just take the little, I just put all my energy into the little steps, and it helped me not stress out about the micro or the macro. Helped me just stress about the micro. And I feel happier doing that.
Damn, that's good. That's getting clipped.
Oh yeah.
What reminds me of that is that happened to me today, in a sense of I wrote a birthday letter to myself a long time ago, and I refound it. Like, I went to my parents' house a couple days ago to grab some stuff, like more audio shit,
Right.
and I found this letter that I wrote, and it's in a super nice not an envelope, but an envelope and like a card. Like, I bought a card with waves on it and whatever, you know, like, because it was a letter to myself.
Yeah, you wanted it to be significant.
Yeah, and it was for my birthday
Beautiful.
in 2021. I wrote it to myself, and I reread it today because I was feeling all the emotions, like the negative emotions this morning. And I was like, I need to get this out of my system, because
For sure.
this is not gonna help my situation anyways.
Right.
So when I saw the letter, I was like, man, let me fucking read this shit again.
Sick.
And I wrote something on the front of the envelope, and then on the, you know how the envelope opens like this?
Mm-hmm.
I wrote stuff on that part too, and it was like,
That's creative.
this letter is filled with love. This is filled with abundance. This is filled with
That's
compassion.
Super dope. You wrote that for yourself.
Yeah, and then it was like, breathe, and then inside was telling me, like, I wrote a poetry piece, like a spoken word piece in there.
Yeah, pat on your back,
Yeah.
bro. That's dope.
And I reread it, and I was like, fuck, you're right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I read it, and I was telling myself,
was
you're right.
you.
Yeah, it's me. You know what I mean? And I wrote it that way because I knew that when challenging times come, I can read this letter, and it'll make me feel better.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
that's good.
Dude, that's powerful. Like, shout out pat yourself on the back. Like 2020 you is cooking.
Yeah, for real. That was 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago.
I'm glad you
That's
made that
crazy.
decision for yourself. That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Writing letters to the future. That's cool.
Like
Yeah.
you're your own cheerleader. You just
Yeah.
hyped yourself back up.
I had to.
You have to be your own
Yeah.
cheerleader in this life.
Yeah.
You gotta.
And
That's cool.
I get it from watching other people not be their own cheerleaders.
Right.
True, because you want a dope lifestyle with abundance and fun shit.
Yeah.
And it's not that you can't get there being negative, but it'll probably be easier if you figure out to be positive.
Yeah, exactly. and because you're gonna be stuck with yourself for the rest of
Yeah.
yourself. You know what I mean?
100%, bro. Like, doesn't matter what you want. Like, you're the person you're spending your time with.
Yeah,
the most.
exactly. I say that too because like when I go back to my parents' house, it'd be depressing sometimes because they have such a, like, in my eyes, like looking from the outside in, like they got a house, the yard is fire, there's fucking plants and shit. It's cool as fuck. I go there
That's
and play my
rad.
guitar and record and shit because it's like a tranquil
dream.
spot, right?
Yeah.
And then I see like my parents and they like moping, they just watch TV all day.
For sure.
And in my mind,
parents are like that too.
yeah. And it's like, bruh, like you got it. You guys, I don't even know what you're fucking, you know what I mean?
Y'all
like,
figured it out.
Yeah, like you guys can chill. You can fucking do gardening shit all day if you want. Like, I don't understand.
Well, but they're retired. I mean, they're at that age, right? Like,
Yeah, but the energy you can feel is depressing
Oh.
versus
For sure.
it being uplifting. Like,
Well, you said gardening. It made me happy. So
yeah.
assumed
No,
it was
like
cool.
my mom likes that shit, right? But
Yeah.
From
but
the outside perspective, that's what I would assume as well.
yeah, from the outside perspective. But it's like when I see them, the energy is low. It's not like an uplifting thing.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And I rightfully so, because you know there's a lot of shit that happened the
Interesting.
past couple years that in our family that brought the energy down. a
Right.
bit,
That's
but-
real.
But it's like when I go there and I do see the abundance around, I'm like, it's really a mind shift.
Mm.
Like
For
it's
sure.
not just the stuff.
It's
like we were
not.
talking about
Yeah.
the other day. It's like it's
Because-
really not just the stuff. It's
And
like
if you make it
literally-
about the stuff, it's dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it can lead to a life of abundance
Yeah,
that's
man.
hollow.
Dude, I just think your mind's the most powerful weapon. Like,
Yeah.
your mind, like, people have guns are powerful weapons, but the mind created a gun.
Boom.
So it's like, your mind is so powerful. It's like, that's why you be playing music and then you see the artist a week later. Or that's why you be like, I'll mess around and surf. And then you're at a beach and, like, you're just shredding. And, like, from what you saw in a car one day, like, ooh, that'd be sick. Like, you're actually out there surfing. And, like, it's like humans are just hard on themselves. So they forget about the
Yeah.
little things that, like, they got the surfboard to get out there. Like, you did that. I didn't tell you to go to surfing. Like, you got to the waves and you know, like, if I was ever to learn surfing, I would ask you for advice.
You should ask him.
Prior to, yeah, yeah, theoretically.
Theoretically, I'll support. Yeah, that one looked good. That's my level of surf experience.
But you know, like, why work so hard and then just not be happy? Well, isn't that why you're working hard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that I was actually contemplating on what you were saying, and I was thinking like, yeah, is right in that sense of money doesn't make you happy because there's a level of it that you need for sustainability purposes, but after that point, it doesn't make you any more happy than you could be.
It becomes a never-ending game,
Yeah.
which you can play and have fun in. It's just a matter of like being mindful of the
Yeah.
game that you're partaking in. Yeah, like I was actually. It's funny you said that because I was thinking about our conversation too. Now I feel like we have to upload it, and I was thinking that you were kind of right, and I felt like maybe I was being too harsh on your perspective, because I don't want to like say what your perspective was.
Yeah, I mean they can watch it
Okay.
whenever we post it.
But sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, because there is something to be said about like wanting more, wanting to pursue a greater life for yourself, and like the material sort of elements that come with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think
There's
it
always a
shouldn't be-
balance.
There's a balance,
Yeah.
and if that's your ultimate goal, I believe that'll make you unhappy.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Hey, who doesn't want more? We're men.
Or nice shit. You know
know?
what I mean?
Yeah, I
There's
like
a-
more.
But yeah, it's a balance.
And it is.
Uh,
I was talking to myself the other day. I made a video on this of needing to sell like a bunch of instruments and
shit.
like some audio gear to like pay my rent and shit.
Mm.
Like the past 2 months.
Right. That's
And,
a tricky one.
Yeah, and so like I was thinking about that because the amount of stuff that I had, I was like, damn, that was so much excess, and it didn't really make me any more happier because it was almost like a responsibility that I needed to use all of these items to make them worth the amount of money I spent on it in a
Right.
sense or whatever, instead of just
Naturally
enjoying whatever that I had. You know what I mean?
That's
For
why
sure.
Yeah.
I have just a handful of instruments, and like I'm really mindful to not get more.
Yeah, I have my one that I'm never gonna sell.
That's good.
It's a nylon guitar from Hawaii, and I'm like, nah, you and me, buddy.
Yeah.
To the end.
You gotta
know?
have that. Yeah, you gotta have that touchstone.
we're going to stay together, buddy. Don't
Yeah,
worry. You
that's
know what I mean?
That's hilarious. I just saw such a vivid image of like your guitar's like, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's got the mood lighting, little God ray on it.
For real, because
man.
if I was a guitar, like if I was that guitar, I'd be watching all the other guitars leave and be like, "Am I next?" You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, dude, that's a short
What
film,
about
bro.
what we had together?
yeah, like all those times we had, bro.
Bro, that's
you know?
that's a little film. That's like
Yeah.
a 2-3 minute movie.
Yeah, that'd be funny as fuck.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But I feel like it's like that's what makes things interesting. Like you want a challenge. Like it's like the same thing. Like if I go up to a girl and I'm just like, hey, let's go out, and it's super easy, I might be like, oh, sick. All right, I'll see you Thursday or something. But if
That's
there's
the way
a
I like
girl,
it, bro.
if there's a girl who says, okay, like, yeah, like, but it's more of a conversation. I have to work for it more. I will want it more, like, naturally.
Mhm.
It's just how like,
Well,
my brain works.
Well, that lady who's making you work for it might value herself more, which in turn makes you value her more.
yeah, and I mean, too hard to get, and this is just,
That's true.
this can't be applied to everything. But
Yeah.
in this sense, it's like, you're trying to play a riff and it's not working.
Mm.
Like you're struggling with this aspect of music, or you have to take time away from music just to get back to it in a few months. Like it's that whole like process, like it's like a damn near, it's like a storyboard. It's like, this is the part where you have to go do this to come back to here. And you wouldn't want to watch a movie that has no rising actions, no distraught part, no conflict. You would leave the theater. So you want to have the whole like ups and downs, not too much, of course,
Yeah.
but just like enough to like give it some like spice, like some flavor.
Yeah, because life isn't a straight line. It's a lot of
boring.
this, and it's a little bit of that, and it's a lot of this, you know. And it's,
You know what's interesting when you were saying that?
Mm.
I was watching myself watch a movie that was just happy the whole time, and me thinking, this is just too fucking happy.
Yeah, it's just boring.
you're trying to turn it off.
You're like, all right, we're killing the popcorn. I ain't trying to watch this movie, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're like, there's not enough titties in this thing. No.
Type shit. So, you just want to like when something's not working out your way, it's like nowadays I just practice being grateful that I'm wrong. Like I'm so
Absolutely.
glad I'm wrong, because if I was right, that would have been way too easy. I'm so glad I'm wrong, so I get to try it tomorrow, and tomorrow I get to try it like this, because I tried it like that and it didn't work, so I'm gonna try it like this and see if I get a different result.
And like a scientist.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
experimenting with your life.
For
I
sure.
feel artists are in the lab.
For
the
sure.
lab of Earth.
Yeah, in the lab. Earth is my lab. That's so fire.
Yeah, that's what all those hippies say.
Out from Oregon.
bus.
It matches.
Where do you live? On the earth.
And then they get to the water.
Earth
They're
is
like,
my
go
life."
home. Once they get on their surfboards.
Yeah, right.
Man, I don't
So,
want to
yeah.
surf after hearing you talk about this, bro.
No, you just got to do longboarding.
Okay.
Longboarders are chill.
I don't know how I feel about riding a board bigger than me, though.
You're gonna feel
Scary.
better because you'll be able to catch the waves.
It's like I'm riding a boat.
Yeah.
Or
that's
I'm
the whole
expect to
point.
get roasted.
Yeah,
when I'm out
right?
there.
I mean, you're gonna
like,
get
oh, he
roasted
brought it up.
anyways.
Yeah.
That's like that's just gonna happen.
All right.
Regardless, like all the time.
That's life. Yeah. Yeah. That's so true.
I don't know how many times I've almost drowned. Like there's some days it's just no joke.
No
Really?
joke.
You just have to go with someone that knows the area and knows that it's not a big day to take you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I have homies that I used to skate with and they're assholes, so they took me on big days. And they'd just be like, "Oh yeah, let's take Soul there, bro. Like, look at this." I'm looking like, "Oh, that's so cool." And I'm like naive as fuck, and these fucking waves are like 8-10 foot.
That's diabolical.
But
for
on the
real.
shore, they look small, right? And then you get the perspective of, "Oh no, that dude is like this big." And that wave is like that big. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't know about this, guys.
It
And
looks
yeah,
like a Where's Waldo map.
for real. That shit's no joke. But damn, what were we were talking about? I was gonna say something.
Scientists. Artists are scientists.
I was gonna say those moments that we do have those challenges. That's probably our most creative moments.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
we have to think now how to figure out whatever it is we're trying to do.
Yeah. You
And
gotta think your way out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
literally.
then that brings in the creativity for like whatever it is that you're trying to do.
For sure. It's also like, it's always about like, it's like, what can I do next? It's like, man, sometimes, like, I don't know. I think it comes back to like, you remember when you were like, you've ever done an obstacle course, how it challenged your brain and like, I
Yeah.
gotta run on it like this, or, oh, I ate shit trying to do this last time, so I'm gonna try it like this. It's like, that is, you're young, like, you know, like, you could try this way tomorrow or try that way tomorrow, or like, I feel like that's when you hit the edge of creativity, when you're challenged, like you said, and it's like everything is those are the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
that's when you just have to just be like, oh shit, I'm in deep on this one, how am I gonna get out of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you figure it out,
And
yeah,
that comes from naturally in skateboarding when you're trying to create a line.
for sure.
You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking do this this tray flip here into a tail slide there, into a manual whatever the fuck over here." You know what I mean? And then you just start creating like the line that you're trying to do.
For
And
sure.
that's what's dope about skateboarding is that it reframes failing.
Yeah, no,
powerful.
that's
Yeah.
the biggest lesson I've learned from skating. Like, it made me okay with falling on cement.
Yeah.
So when I do a chord wrong, it's like reminds me like, oh, it's like crashing on a kickflip.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the difference that I noticed also with surfing is that
Damn,
people are
that's
so they're not used to like you know when the homies are trying hard or you're trying hard and people are still rooting you on because like we just want to see you land that shit.
Yeah.
Like that feeling, there's not that feeling in surfing. And people are so like, "Oh my god, I fell off the wave. I'm such a kook," or whatever the fuck. And it puts them down a little bit in a sense, like they're not good enough or whatever.
Interesting.
But when I started, because I came with a skateboarding mindset, I was like, yeah, I know I'm going to eat shit. I'm just going to keep fucking trying to catch more waves. Like, it's the only way you're going to get better. You know what I mean? Like if I got to learn a kickflip, well, it looks like I need to do this kickflip like 100 times to fucking...
Yeah,
like-
because you can see yourself land it. That's
Yeah.
that's the part.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you're like crazy trying it on the sidewalk for an hour.
Yeah.
But it's because
Yeah,
you can see
no.
yourself landing it. Like you fully believe in your mind that you
Yeah.
can land the trick.
Absolutely.
And then when you land it, you're like, whoa, like freaking out, looking like a crazy person on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And
By
maybe-
yourself.
and maybe, and to someone who's walking by, you might not have known you've tried that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
finally landed one.
Yeah.
And you're like, this was the one I was seeing in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, baby. That's life.
So it's like it's exciting and like that challenge of like beating that Rubik's cube or whatever, and it was hard or whatever. That feeling is like, yeah, like I did that.
Yeah. It takes those failures. You know what's fascinating to me about failure is that the person that cares about your failure the most is yourself.
Yeah.
You know, other people looking at you failing, they see he's gonna get there. But when we're failing, man, it feels so different. It feels visceral. It feels like the world is on you.
For sure.
But man, you just have to keep going. You have to just, because every failure, what follows that is a lesson learned.
Yeah, truly. If you're willing to learn every day, you're gonna learn so much every day.
If you're willing to fail, dude, the lessons are ever expanding before you.
And that's what makes life sick, because there's so many things. I can do music, but he does audio engineering and music. That's his own world. Like, I could spend the next 4 months just learning audio engineering within the spectrum of music.
Yeah.
Anyways, you were saying?
I don't know. I was just going to say that growing up, like in the school system, failing is not rewarded. And in my own home, like living in an Asian household, in I was gonna say import household, immigrant household.
Well, in America. The type
I feel like
shit.
that's like
funny
something
as
that
fuck.
somebody else would say to you, like to offend you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I thought about it myself, because I think of myself as an import in a sense, right?
Yo, that's
But an immigrant.
we have to dig
right?
into that maybe on the
Um,
psychology episode.
Well, I mean, it's because I was born in the Philippines, so.
Yeah,
But
it's cool.
I was just thinking about it took me a long time to realize the whole failing aspect. I'm still even battling with that now in a sense, right? And it's because it's like it was so iterated in school, like if you fail, you're gonna be nothing, blah 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 blah.
Permanent record.
And then going home,
Right,
like
such negative
Yeah.
connotation.
It's negative
Yeah.
reinforcement. instead of
Daily
positive.
stuff, like,
yeah.
and
You're not gonna get a job. You're not gonna be able to whatever. You know what I mean? And then
Sure.
it gets reinforced when I get home. Like, you gotta what? Whack. And like on your grades and whatever.
perpetual.
Yeah, and then it's like, fuck, I'm a failure. And you
Right.
get into that mode.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't. It's harder to manifest in that mode.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like the energy of manifestation doesn't like that shit.
Right.
When you're a child, it's
It avoids
confusing,
it.
Yeah.
especially in like the public school system, which I'm assuming you're talking about. That's the system I know.
Yeah.
Is it's very rigid and it's really designed to make children ready for the 9-to-5 office workforce. So
Sure.
the thing is, though, we're living now in a world where it seems like those jobs are gonna be different.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
it's
actually coming to an. Some of them are coming to an end.
Yeah, it's going to require us trying new things, being bold, thinking outside the box, things that we weren't taught to do in school.
For sure. And it's amazing because I used to look at technology as slightly overwhelming. And recently I switched my mindset on it. And I started thinking, oh, like AI exists. If I have any question, I can look up AI. Like, we all have a Jarvis. Everyone's Iron Man, and we all have a personal Jarvis. So nowadays it's like, oh, we have all these resources. Damn, I can just go crazy on my phone and like you can do anything.
Yeah.
Well, not anything, but a lot of things I put my mind to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's dope with that, reframing your mindset with the technology is the difference between being able to use it and you being used by it.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Well said.
Yeah, because just the reframing of it, instead of looking at it as overwhelming, you're looking at it now as a helper. No, I got an idea.
Sure.
This motherfucker can help me.
Exactly.
Let me use that. Instead of it like, oh my God, I don't know what to do because it's so complicated. I don't know where to start. And it's like, you could just literally go on there and be like, how do I start this?
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
it'll answer it for
It'll give you a roadmap.
you. Literally, bro. It's hilarious.
Up to you to follow.
For sure.
Yeah.
People back in the day would have loved to have something like this.
Fuck yeah.
Dude.
And we have it now, so I'm going to utilize it.
And that's the difference between allowing the new stuff that's always gonna be coming out to rule you. And
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, because you're like, nah, I want to make music. I'm gonna use this thing to help me make music.
Yeah, exactly.
Use it as a tool, like I like to use these technologies as tools for my art. It's not like I just use it entirely, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like making a mosaic, or what is it called, a collage. Yeah,
For
like
sure.
you're taking the tools, you're taking all these pieces of the world and blending them together. I've messed with AI and tried to have it come up with something moving, and it doesn't move me.
Right.
I'm the one that can move me, and I can use these tools to expedite the writing process.
Yeah.
Like research, dude, it's huge for research and projects.
Research is fire.
For real.
Especially now they have the deep search option, like it'll fact check things for you, because they weren't doing that for the longest.
For sure.
It's sick. This is sick technology, and it's not something I
That's
think we should
good,
be running
boys.
away from.
Yeah, that beautifully said. You should elaborate on that point. Actually, I'm listening. Like, this is crazy.
On the what?
The point you guys were cooking up right now with just like, how do you go about utilizing
Oh yeah. So
a piece of technology in your life?
lately, what I've been doing is, like, for this podcast, I'd be like, okay, I'm making a podcast. What are ways that it's possible for me to monetize this?
Yeah.
And they'll just like spit out some ideas, like,
dope
oh,
goal.
okay. Because sometimes, like, you just not knowing is such a limiting thing, because you don't even know what the possibility could be unless someone showed it to you.
Right.
Or
Right.
it's like a 360 flip maybe would have been like, damn, that's impossible. How do I do that? And then your homie
That's
does it
what
in
I
front of
thought.
you, and he goes, no, dude, it's easy. You just go like this. And you're like, what? And then you try it, and you're like, oh, shit, it is possible. And then now your mind goes, I just have to practice now, and I can do it.
Yeah.
Versus, like, how the fuck, like, when you first start, like, I can't even ollie. How can I even get to that point? You know what I mean? So it's like just unlocking that possibility that it could happen is such a big step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I try to base my days off the energy. If I'm having a day with a lot of energy, I try to go to use that to the fullest. Like, I have a day with a lot of energy and I don't have to work the next day, I might as well just try staying up all night and making music.
Yeah.
Just because I'm in that mode.
Yeah.
So why not just, oh man, like, I don't really have a lot of beats, but maybe I got this guitar. Let me just try making 3 songs, and then just 3. And once I hit that mark, because it's like it's crazy how, like, you'll affirm yourself if you're like, I want to do 10 push-ups a day.
Yeah.
You could definitely do 10 push-ups a day.
Exactly, yeah.
If you do that for 2 months, you'll probably be able to lift that thing at the gym, and
Oh, yeah.
all you had to do is 10 push-ups a day.
Yeah.
And if 10's too much, then just do 5. And if 5's too much, just do 2.
What
Yeah.
you do every day adds up quickly over the span of just a few months.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's the book called Compound Effect. Have you guys heard of that book?
No.
Well, it's exactly what you guys are talking about now. It's like the compound effect of just being consistent with whatever it is you're trying to do. At the beginning, it looks like nothing, but it's like, because, like, you just put one brick on the wall, and then if you do that over whatever time horizon, a year, now you got a fucking wall of bricks, not just the one brick. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And that's the compound effect of, like, just doing something consistently. You're gonna get better, and you're gonna learn from all the lessons that it took you to keep putting those pieces on the fucking wall. You know what I
Right.
mean?
For sure. And it's about, and I think the part that technology hurts us is we try to compare ourselves so much in this day and age, especially with
that
our
part, for
generation. And it's like, it's just about, like, I know people who skated until they learned a tray flip and then they quit. Because they're like, that was the only level I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's so sick.
Yeah.
Like, they feel like proud because that was the goal and they reached it. And, like, I see it when they explain it, and it's like, damn, like, what you just have to set goals that you know you can do
Yeah.
no matter what the day is gonna be. And then if you do that over and over and over, you look up, I mean, damn, you're not supposed to know everything. Like, you're supposed to, like learn, or else what would be the point of evolution?
Yeah, and there's a limit to how much you can get done in a day. I was working on a project in college once, and to get a permit for something, we had to provide like a script, but like more of a script than we had. And so we assigned one of the guys to write 30 pages. Really, he said that he would just do it. I mean, he was a baller, and he wrote 30 pages in a day.
Wow.
And like within 12 hours to get it to this permitting office to get a permit. And it was like the most dog shit script ever. He'll tell you, it was the worst.
Bro's like, I got this though.
But the point is like it was written. It's more or less like about what it was gonna be, just without the good. And it got us the permit. But the lesson to me was like, you can't write a 30-page script and it be good in a day.
Yeah.
Maybe you could write that draft, sure. Then like tomorrow you're gonna have to rewrite that thing.
For sure.
But it's just like life, right? Like find what you can do every day, like just incrementally, and do that every day.
Yeah.
After a month, 2, 3, man, your life could be totally different.
Yeah, literally. It's like, I mean, you're a professional biker, or not a professional biker. You're really good at biking, and it's just because you've been, maybe not every day, but a long time. There was a point where you didn't know how to ride a bicycle.
Accurate.
And now you know how to ride a bicycle. The script part, there was a point where you didn't know how to write a script.
Yeah.
And now you know some things that I don't know that makes a good script for these specific reasons.
Yeah.
But that just took you, like, whether or not you knew it, you were consistent over a long period of time.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of reading and a lot of writing things that just aren't good.
For sure.
But
you
that-
had a passion for it.
I needed that, right? Because I'm sure you have a lot of songs that you don't like, but it's like you need that to know that's what a not good one is.
For sure.
And then when you finally, because like I've written stuff that I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. It's really exciting because you're like, this one's actually this is something. This is something that's gonna move someone else.
Yeah, it's like our brains are trying so hard to figure out why things coexist with each other. So you have to if you wake up every day thinking about something, you have to try to do it. Or else why would you be thinking about it?
Yeah.
What did I hear? It was if the energy came to you, then it's worth going for it.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
one attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
if it doesn't
like,
work out, go to the next thing.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what's always going to be fascinating with skateboarding, with any type of art stuff, is the fact that I think artists are so used to failing in a sense that it's such a part of the normal thing. Like when you were saying like, oh, I fucked up that chord. Well, let me just do it better this next run.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, I fucked up. Oh my God, whatever. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to dwell on it. You just fucking be like, yeah, well, I'll just do another take. And then move on to the next energy so you can actually bring the vibe that you're trying to bring.
That reset's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found so much solace in the essence of being. Like, I'm so infatuated in the moment. If I'm shooting a music video with you guys and you're in a tree filming and I'm sitting down there and I'm uncomfortable and it's windy and cold, I'm like, yeah, let's get this shot. Like, I'm so in love with just the fact that I'm right there at that moment. Because it's like, then I'll look back later and be like, another photographer will be filming me and I'm like, oh, that time I was with Yale, if I lean like this, the photos actually look better. And until I get to the exact one where I'm like, yes, that was it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Thank you so much, bro. This has been
Yeah,
a
you guys are
fun
dope.
conversation.
Yeah, this was really great.
Yeah.
Is there man, we went through you starting music in Oregon, you went to Vermont, you were in Europe, and how you got here. Did we specifically talk about how you got here?
No. Okay, so how I got here was a series of very crazy events.
Oh.
Pitfalls, else, redemption, success,
Yeah.
happiness, sadness. Like,
It's giving us the trailer.
all the way to get here, like, hey, I've lost some people, I've had my moments in life. So There's been impossible moments where I didn't think I could make any music. Haven't had a mic sometimes, DAWs. But basically, actually, okay, I should go through the whole
So where were you before you were here?
Okay, so I was in Oregon,
Okay.
chilling at the house, thinking about going to music school.
Okay.
I was, before that, in Canada for creative writing
Whoa.
for 1 year.
Dang.
And before that, I was in school in Vermont, before Europe. And before that, I was at home. And I'm adopted. So I'm adopted into a Jewish family.
Oh, wow.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. I respect.
Mazel tov. Maybe I should have said mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Yeah. So, and before that, I was living with a single mom. She passed away when I was 14.
Oh, damn.
And before that, I was adopted by her from Texas.
Oh,
So
dang.
life has just been crazy, bro. But
Dang.
it's like, it's always, my whole lifestyle's already been oriented around art because of all the things that happened. I was moving around family so much
Yeah.
that I was able to, I had to travel due to that. And then school and like all this stuff. So it's like my life has always been on tour. So I've always felt like an artist.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah, man.
That I want to say it's unfortunate that you had to go through all those things, but I'm glad
For
that you
sure.
did so that you are here with us today.
Yeah, or else I wouldn't be
Absolutely.
here today. Like everything that I've been through built me for this moment to have these types of conversations
Yeah.
and for me to be able to explain in a way that you guys understand it and stuff like that. So I'm grateful for all that.
Grateful for you, bro. Thank you so much for sharing some of your story and sharing your time with us.
Yeah.
For sure,
It was
dude.
nice.
This is a dream. This is literally a dream of mine, bro. And I'm doing this right now. They're making it happen. So, yo, shout out you, big dog, fauceting the situation.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys are lit.
Sick.
Now it's just time for us to dream a little bigger,
For
and we'll meet
sure.
each other again on the next big dream.
Let's do it. Hell yeah. You heard it from him, the source. Hey,
Hey.
stay tuned.
And remember to check out, we're going to drop your links in the description. So remember to check out his music, check out his apparel, support his channel,
Yeah.
support this channel so we can, if you guys have any artists that you want to be on the show, be on the pod, we'd love more artists to come through and just vibe out.
And hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah, that's what we've been forgetting to say.
They know to do that shit. It's okay.
No, I appreciate you saying it, though. I appreciate you saying it.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say it.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Feel like I'm losing myself. These drugs are bad for my health. I think I'm living